Oh, we're on?
We're on. Hi everybody, it's Dara, and I am here with Rehmannia, and he is a Chinese Taoist herbalist. Is that how you say it?
I'm a Taoist tonic herbalist.
Taoist tonic herbalist.
Right.
I knew it. I was going to get that one mixed up. But anyway, I am so honored. We are so honored to have him here and discuss some of the things that he is so near and dear to. So anything you want to share with us will be more than welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
and just
oh, I want to share this. What you just made us is fantastic.
Thank you. I made a green smoothie. We're getting our greens on.
Oh boy. And that's when it's beautiful, when you forget to eat all day and you're somewhere and you go, well, maybe I should go get a burrito before I go there. And you go, no, just go. And then the next thing you know, you got this.
Within 5 minutes, you're like, you got a whole head of kale, frozen mango, bananas, all you need. And there's lots more if you're hungry, let me know.
No, I'll clean out your kitchen. Okay, so yeah, I'm a Taoist tonic herbalist. I'm in a lineage called the Gate of Life lineage. It dates back to approximately 3000 BC. It was when the first book of documenting these herbs was written, 2975 BC to be exact. And these herbs were documented in that book. And they have been used consistently ever since. Billions and billions and billions of people.
Billions and billions and billions of people for a very long time.
Yes.
Like how long? How many?
5,000 years now, officially. Probably a lot longer.
So it's been documented 5,000 years that these have been, and the Chinese are very good at documentation.
Exactly.
That's
we're very fortunate for that because the Ayurvedics, for example, they have an equally old system, but they didn't document it as much. It was an oral lineage for so long, whereas the Chinese wrote everything down. Now we've got 5,000 years of empirical observation on top of a lot of modern research too. And the cool thing is that all the modern researchers, when they looked at broke down the actual chemistry of this stuff and looked at it, they said, "Oh my God, the ancient Taoists were right. they were right, but they were right through trial and error. That's what they had going for them. Thousands of years of like the barefoot doctor going back to his customer and saying, what happened, and they were doing that all along, so there was a lot of documentation. So this comes to us in an extremely sophisticated form, and it's been hidden until now.
What do you mean it's been hidden?
Well, my lineage, in the Gate of Life lineage, it's going back to this original, what we call a pharmacopoeia of herbology, which is back then. And this became kind of sequestered to the emperors and empresses in the elite. And then another more medical system evolved, which came from the Yellow Emperor's classical internal medicine, which is today China, which is the basis of today's Chinese medicine. So this was kind of the original nucleus of that.
So this meaning like.
Well, these herbs.
I see Cordyceps.
Yeah, there were 365 herbs in this. Cordyceps. There were 365 herbs in this original pharmacopoeia, and they all in those days, way back then. I don't think people were so much like dealing with widespread sickness and stuff like that. They were more looking for, how do I make myself powerful? How do I make my children more powerful?
So they weren't having the same dis-ease, all of these different. I want to keep talking, I want to shut the door because I hear some outside noises, and we have to make sure we project so everybody can hear us. They've been complaining about the noise a little bit on my channel, but I think I can turn it up. So just so you know, we have to kind of project. But
I'll drink some of your smoothie.
Yes, I'll be right back. Okay. We're good.
So they didn't look at it like, oh, how can I deal with bone degeneration? And they weren't. I don't think they were really at that state. They lived in a pretty pristine world. They were looking more for, how can I have a stronger child? How can I live longer? And fortunately, very fortunately, we have great fortune that they said, how can I also attain wisdom? So they wanted to. Let's wait for it. Right where we were.
Yes.
And so, very fortunately for us, these ancient seers and sages and shamans who discovered this stuff in the woods, they lived out in the woods and they lived in a very pure, pristine environment. And so, I guess between eating the living foods, which they surely ate, and taking these herbs as teas, they perceived a higher frequencies of life, I guess, and they sought to seek wisdom. So a great deal of emphasis on these herbs. They searched for herbs that help you actually gain, perception and why we're here. What are we doing? To portal in your higher calling to come in. Herbs like this, reishi mushroom, do that. This is a little bitty reishi I found in the woods in Virginia when I was there about a month ago. It was growing out of this little bitty wood chip. That's all by itself. It was just laying on the ground. Yeah. And so herbs like this, these ancient Taoist masters found out that they open up your consciousness too. So the idea of health became basically not just it would look good as a pendant, a little bit ostentatious, but
no.
And so they came to see health in three components. One was our physical body and its capacity to reproduce itself.
Okay.
So that we call gene. Right?
Gene.
They call that gene. That is the health of your cells. The make up your bones. Your nails, your hair, your upright chi, all that. The physical body, the wax of the candle is
the
gene.
Container.
Yes, the container, and then our capacity to produce another life is gene.
Okay.
Now that's the first, what we call a treasure. The second treasure is chi, and that is the flame of metabolism and catabolism, and just basically our evolution. We're going through phases in our lives and all this stuff. We're always in flux, always in change. This is energy. That's called chi. So chi's like the flame on that candle.
Okay.
And that flame eventually burns the wax down and turns it into a different, melts it down and turns it into a different shape.
Okay.
As we evolve. What I'm talking about, like maybe reincarnation in that regard. It's always a cycle, right? And then the third of these treasures is called shin, and that is our spirit. What are we learning from this? Hey, let's have a nice toned body with tensile muscles and good skin tone and all that, good upright chi and everything, right? Good metabolism, good shape. Yes, great. And let's make sure the flame of our evolution is high, so we're going into our adventure, right? We're taking on the adventure of life. We're taking on our creativity. If that vessel is healthy, and things like, you look at it from like an adrenal viewpoint, stuff like that, if this vessel is all healthy there, you will go into your adventure, right?
Right.
That's chi. You're taking on your adventure, making it big for you.
Yeah.
Then what we learn from all that, the wisdom we gain is shin. And we call this the three treasures. It is truly the most profound health philosophy that is. But as I said a minute ago, it was sequestered to the elite. And so it was only when my teacher, Ron Teagarden, wrested it out of his teacher, Master Sun Jin Park, in the 1970s, that we found out about this. And then I had the great fortune of being his personal apprentice and his personal alchemist for 8 years.
That's incredible.
So I got to learn this the way it's taught, from what was taught really from master to people one-on-one. I got an 8-year close apprenticeship with Master Herbalist Ron Teagarden, which was
huge.
A great blessing for me, And so after I went out on my own, forces compelled me to do that. I started doing my own company called Shaman Shack, and but I go back to this all the time. I carry a briefcase around with me with herbs in it, and I pop it open on the table.
I might need to show that if you'll let me,
Sure,
because it's really cool. I'm going to pop the camera off when we're done and show that.
Yeah.
And
so let me tell you a little bit about something.
By the way, he told, he spoke at a conference, and he said that he's supposed to, take on 10 students, and you're one of the 10. So we're really honored to have you here. What a delight.
Thank you.
And this might be a headdress for me.
Oh, nice. I found this in the woods in West
Virginia
Virginia on a tree.
Well, tell us more.
I brought two that I found.
Beautiful.
Reishi is usually kind of a glossy red color, and that's what they call a glossy Ganoderma. But this is one I found in a tree in West Virginia about a month ago.
Oh, it's fresh reishi.
Yeah. So let's go to Jing first, real quick.
Okay, Jing.
Okay.
So Jing is the container,
but the real vault of where the gold is held of your container is the kidneys, according to the Chinese.
Yes.
And this is where your gold vault is. And I view it as like a golden pyramid down here in your solar plexus there, right there.
Show me, go ahead.
Right back here, yeah. There's
so
the two
here,
kidneys.
right here.
And then the solar plexus is what they call the gate of life, right in between the two kidneys, and that's what we call lineage because we are seeking to go to the core, the root of health, you see. And so, you know, and I like to say this to our raw food friends and our health food friends that are out there. This is a deep system. It goes down to the root. And along with a living diet, I've said this, and this is my mantra.
Yes, I know this.
Tonics are deep, gene replenishing and chi building and shin fortifying herbs, along with your living food diet. I think you've got it.
Well, that's the funny thing. This is why I remember connecting with you and thinking I really need to interview this man. It's because somewhere along the way of a 7-year raw food diet, I realized that there wasn't any time that I wasn't using these herbs in some capacity, playing on my own, not having academic knowledge, but certainly intuition enough to know that I needed this. And I think that's what kept me from being too damp. Because that's what a lot of the Chinese herbalists will say, don't have the raw food diet because you'll be too damp. And then all of a sudden, at Euphoria Loves Rawvolution, I met you years ago, and you had those packages of things that could offer raw foodists the brews that they could make to make sure they maintain whatever, however you want to describe it.
Yeah, well, the living food diet, it can be a cooling diet. So, you know, a lot of raw green vegetables and all that for women. And guys, we steam that stuff off. We turn it into this nice tensile, almost too lean in a way. But women have a couple we call a yin constitution. Yin is water. And so water, if you put, you take a pitcher of water and you put more water in it, you just got more water in the pitcher, right? And so this can happen sometime with the female body to hold moisture, hold water around.
And what would happen, how would somebody, what would be symptoms of that, physical symptoms?
Bloating, edema, you know, bloating and edema mainly, but then loose stool, sometimes excess menstrual period, because if things are cool down here, you don't have enough what we call upright chi, so the blood isn't flowing, so cold hands and feet. Maybe sometimes, you know, irregular or even maybe excess blood loss or menses. Because not enough chi, right? So because see what happens is if water builds up around here, women tend to get some, you know, who have very, very yin constitution will get more widening here in the hips a little bit, maybe some bloating here. And then the Chinese doctors will say, oh, damn spleen, no raw food for you. They'll say that, right?
Right.
Well, they're right in one regard, you know. Yes, if it gets damp, and the spleen, this is the governor of chi, they say, the spleen and pancreas. That's right here, underneath the pot of stew that is the stomach, a cauldron of soup here. And the spleen and pancreas are here. And they could be viewed as the burner on your stove top, right? And you want that burner hot. You want that knob cranked up there and heat up. You know, so that when you eat something, you can cook it down and what's called hydrolyze it. Get that fire and hydrolyze the food. That's what the general term is, and when you break it down into sort of a liquid. So what you eat has to be broken down into a liquid in the stomach before it goes into the small intestine. And so you need a flame for that, you know. So if we're eating a lot of this cooling, dampening food, it can you know, cool that flame, and then maybe food isn't being fully, you know, all the chi isn't being gotten out of it. So then, like iron, for instance, you know, wrestling the iron out of spinach has got a ton of iron, but its bioavailability is an issue. If you don't have enough heat and flame, rendering that iron from a ferric state into what we call heme iron, then your body can get, you know, if you've managed to do that and sufficiently, your body gets the iron ions into the red blood and boom, you activate. That's what makes the blood red. And then some oxygen molecules from the lungs in there, and you've got chi. But you know, if this is damp, then you might not, you know, get enough rendering of the minerals and the iron and the nutrients into the bloodstream, and then the blood isn't carrying enough chi. And chi again is the flame of your metabolism, and then things can start to back up. Weight gain, but it's usually water. It's usually moisture. Women are always wondering, well, hey, they come to me and say, I'm going to yoga every day and I'm starving myself and I can't get rid of this. I say, well, it's not fat. They go, really? But no, it's just moisture retention. This is a tendency because you have a yin. Women, yin is the intaking. Women take in, they absorb, right? Yang is outpouring. That's the male energy.
I know I'm going to ask you this at the end, but I just know that there's a lot of people watching who may be saying, but I want to know about me. And I had this vision of perhaps you being able to see an image of somebody's body and connecting with them, no matter where you are traveling or living, you probably can do consultations with people.
Yes. Yeah, I can do Skype.
And they can show you, and you can see them and connect and tell them what they might be able to do to...
Even phone conversations, because frankly, what I'm talking about is very common and pretty universal, and the Chinese figured out a wonderful equation for dealing with it, which is universal. So if a woman tells me she's having weight gain issues, and if she's eating a lot of raw food, or in any case, the equation is the same. It's this herb here, white atractylodes, warms the spleen, warms the middle jiao. We call middle jiao here, warm it up. Turn that knob up there a notch on the stove. Then this nourishes the spleen, pancreas. Then poria goes with it. Poria is famous for, they say, transforming damp into qi. It's not necessarily diuretic. What it does is it goes in and it helps to transform the dampness you're holding into qi, so your body winds up metabolizing and using it. These two go well together. Warm the middle jiao, remove the damp. Then you want to get qi moving. You put in white peony root. White peony root is famous in menstrual formulas, PMS type formulas and things, and cramping. But it's really good for any what we call qi stagnation. Qi stagnation is anything. If it's water buildup, if it's constipation, if even arthritis, poor digestion, all that,
Okay.
And so this is then white peony moves qi and blood. And so it breaks up any qi stagnation, it gets warmth and qi going to the hands and feet.
Beautiful.
Then you put in some astragalus. And astragalus, besides being a wonderful herb for the immune system, it's also famous for what we call, supporting what we call upright qi, warm hands and feet. Now we're building qi, we're getting rid of the damp, we're making sure it's not blocked, and now we're moving it all through the body to the extremities. See, that's where this is a little gleaming here of how sophisticated this really is, and it goes on and on, sophistication. Here we have dong guai, now we're going to assist the body in building new blood. And if you notice, all these herbs are light colored. That's because the white and yellow herbs are said to go to the spleen and pancreas. But dong guai is an essential herb for women to maintain good blood levels, helping build blood. But for men too, who are vegans or vegetarians, can get a little bit anemic.
Okay.
And this is really wonderful. Every single formula I do for women, I put a bit of dong guai in, even if their blood pulse is strong.
Okay.
Because women always are refreshing the blood, and so this really helps with that. And I believe, and I presented that equation in my book here, Healing Thresholds. I believe that with properly constructed formulas like this, with dong guai and other herbs that assist qi and assist getting the iron ions into the blood and all that, and assist getting qi moving, we could be more successful being a vegetarian race. Because the vegetarian, like Dr. Weston Price said in Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, he said, and he wrote that book in the early 1900s, and he said all of the indigenous peoples he studied who were vegetarians were not among the more healthy groups. It was usually the groups who ate maybe some fish or things like that. But some of us have, now the world's changed, right?
Yes.
And I myself am a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for 25 years, except I eat a little fish. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me you can't eat fish anymore. Until then, I'm going to go, oh, I pray for the fish though always.
Do you want me to tell you?
No, don't tell me just yet.
I won't tell you. I never tell people what they can or shouldn't have ever. I just say, add this, see what happens.
Yeah, right.
See what your higher consciousness does.
But I thought about that equation. How can we get, because again, if you go to a Chinese doctor and a woman who's anemic and all and got weak spleen, low spleen qi, the doctor would say, oh, eat some meat, right?
Sure.
Well, how can we, but the Chinese people were never a heavy meat eating race. So they had to figure out something to do, and they discovered herbs like dong guai, and there are a few others.
So that helps with iron. And if you're low in iron, you might be tired. You would feel tired, perhaps. Anemia makes you feel tired.
Oh, yeah.
So this is good around period time. And in the earlier part, during the ovular phase, to just build up the warmth and get ready when your ovulation comes, it's going to be nice and juicy. Right.
And now we're going to do a threshold.
That looks like Rehmannia.
It is Rehmannia.
Well, I'm fascinated with how Rehmannia is treated. Like how
It's a secret. Nobody
I
knows.
chewed on some.
It's some kind of a. It's a root that's been simmered in some kind of wine.
Yeah.
And it's a
It tastes
secret
so
process.
good.
One little village does it in China, and that's it.
It's gorgeous.
We don't know.
I mean, this is
It
like
tastes great,
sticky,
yeah.
chewy.
Mhm.
Just you can chew on it, feel like
Right.
something's happening. What happens when you have Rehmannia?
Well, I'm so happy that,
Rehmannia?
that I chose to call myself, name myself after this because I love this herb. It's a very
I
complex
love
herb.
it too, and I
It's
don't
used
know
in a
why.
lot of ways.
Okay.
But here, as you see now, for instance, we're using white herbs and yellow herbs that go to the spleen, and all of a sudden we're going to put this black herb in here. Why are we doing that? Because the Chinese believe that black foods go to the kidneys, you see. And foods that are black and pigmented, you know, modern research figured out that this has a lot of zinc and molybdenum and other really important antioxidants and minerals that give it its black color that go to the kidneys. So what we're doing here now is we're helping to resonate some of this energy down to the holding tank that is the kidneys, our gold vault, right? We want that gold vault. Or it's like maybe a wellspring, you might look at a wellspring. We've built up chi, we got the flame going. Now we're going to have that, now we're going to make sure that fan belt's running to
So the fan
charge it.
belt's here, and then where do we want it to go? Where's
Down
it?
to the kidneys, you know,
Okay.
the kidneys back here,
Okay,
right?
so it's bringing it back.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
carrying some of the extra chi, you know, around and storing it, you know, for our children. The male semen.
Storing some gold in the
Yeah.
vault.
Okay.
Okay.
It's being held in the male semen and in the female egg,
Okay.
and it's being and it's a holding energy that's there in the kidney. And so this Rehmannia is said to build blood. That's why it's a threshold herb. It's a blood builder, but it takes energy to the kidney and stores it. They call it the kidney's own food.
Do another plate?
No, we're okay. I think what we'll do now is
This
we'll.
is so beautiful and
Yeah.
so explanatory.
It's,
I'm so very glad you're doing
It's
this.
the most sophisticated system. I've been doing in this lineage, strictly within my lineage for 15 years, and I still wake up every morning, I just go, God, it's so brilliant what these people figured out.
That's so
You know?
cool.
And it's so perceptive and so deep. Understanding human physiology and spiritual together. Now we got into the kidneys with our formula, and we're going to then further tonify kidneys with Hosho Wu, the great longevity herb.
Oh.
This is the herb that's said to bring pigment back into the hair. You know, and I'm getting that age where if I get under a lot of stress,
Yeah.
I'll see gray coming over here.
Your hair looks nice and dark.
Pretty much, yeah. And when I'm not under stress and I take my Hosho Wu, you know, like my product of Morning Gene, my protein powder. Have you seen that yet?
No, I'm going to
God.
order all of your products, and I
Yeah.
promise you guys I will show you what to do with them, because I
Yeah.
will ask Dean, and then I will show you how to prep.
Thank you. Well, Morning Gene is all black foods in a powder. It's in a nutritional powder. It's black sesame, black rice, black bean, Hosho Wu, and some other herbs. And you put it in almond milk, and it's just unbelievably tasty. It tastes like
sounds good.
peanut butter chocolate drink.
That sounds so good.
Yeah. But this is in there, and so you know, I'll go through a pound bag of my Morning Gene, and I'll see the pigment like returning
Nice.
after a stressful
Hosho
period.
Wu.
But yeah, you know, we've got to reduce stress. We
Yeah.
really, when you know, and I learned this in my healing work. You know, is when you get under stress, or when somebody's drawing. Say you're a healer, and somebody's drawing your healing energy out of you, like some really needy person is like dumping all their emotional baggage on you. And this can drain you. And what you have to do when that moment is occurring, or when you're under stress, is you have to go. Take a breath. Keep it all in my frontal brain right here.
Okay.
All my you know, action reaction, whatever it is to this, just keep it from here, and don't let it go to your kidneys and
Keep
heart.
it here, but
Don't
don't
start
let
feeling
it
head and
get
heart.
here.
Lower back starts to
That's
you know,
interesting,
feeling.
yeah.
If you keep all of that information in your frontal cortex,
Okay.
and you can respond through your intellect, just as emotionally as you need. You know, it's not like you're going to be suddenly like a machine.
Right.
You'll protect your jing, you'll protect your kidneys. But when we're under stress, the Chinese say the kidneys, that our jing is leaked out, it's leaking out, you know, from the kidneys, and our wellspring is being, robbers are getting our gold, you know.
Yeah.
That's the stress.
That happens to a lot of us are sensitive people, and sensitive people can get
Yeah.
glommed on or
Oh, yeah.
energy vampired or so
Yeah.
that's good to I always like to hear tricks of how to, you know, protect.
Particularly women. Women should not be under constant stress.
No.
Men are designed to be under acute stress. It's pretty common, you We're supposed to be out the front of the door with our spear fighting off the lions, you know.
Right.
And the woman is supposed to be safely inside the house nurturing the family.
Safe.
And
it's a luxury to be a woman like that in this day and age.
It is. We won't have a heart chakra civilization until we achieve that.
Where the women can be women and men can be men.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
So here we go to the heart chakra, you know, for relieving the stress.
He's longing.
Longing, yeah. You want to eat a little bit?
I do.
Yeah. Heart chakra, nourish the blood and the heart.
It's a fruit that's been dehydrated, and it's normally plump, about that big. Tell me again what it does for.
It nourishes the heart and it helps provide iron and build the blood, fortify the blood. So this herb is in a famous formula called Ginseng and Longan formula. It's used by billions of people, women particularly, when they say when you have anxiety and stress on the heart and anemia. You know, it's very, very good.
I love this. I have some.
I got some gojis out because I just wanted to make clear and to say that we're all eating our gojis now and it's all fun. But actually in our lineage we've been using these ever since the beginning, for 5,000 years. We've used them in elixirs. And one of the longest living people known, a guy in all history, he attributed this herb, goji and hoshawu, to his longevity. So yes, his name was Li Qingyuan. And he lived to be a very, very old man, and he attributed these two. So
hoshawu and goji. Okay.
Goji is one of the great longevity herbs on earth. I've got some goji plants in my backyard. They're crazy. They're giant. Here we have cordyceps. Cordyceps is just a cool mushroom.
It's such a weird little mushroom.
This is cultivated cordyceps.
Is it true it grows on a, how does it does? Tell them.
This is not well, one of the freakier phenomena in nature. There's a little caterpillar crawling around in high Himalayan mountains. There's nothing grows there except certain kinds of mosses and things. It's up really high. There's this little caterpillar. And there's this little mushroom that happens to grow there too. And the mushroom has a fruiting body that's so little that you can't even see it. It looks like a little blade of dry grass almost. And the spores come out of the end of the little fruiting body on the mushroom. The spores release into the air. They're microscopic. You can't even see them. And then the spore has to go like this, blowing through the air, and it has to go, and right there on the head of one of those caterpillars. You know, the caterpillar's just happily consuming along through the maze there, and all of a sudden, this little spore lands on its forehead, and it has to go right there between this crack, in the eyes of the caterpillar. And if it does, then it starts to mycelinate into the caterpillar, and it winds up completely mycelinating the caterpillar. It winds up keeping the caterpillar's shape, but in the end, it's all mushroom.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then the fruiting body grows off the head and releases its spores, and it all happens again.
Wow, that's magic. That sounds magical and very Alice in Wonderland. But these are cultivated in somewhere other than the caterpillar's head.
Yeah, because those kind are too rare now, and I believe it's actually kind of unethical for us to take those, what we call wild cordyceps, those kind, because the Tibetan people and people who live in really high mountainous regions need those mushrooms because they're really good for the lung immunity. They're good for your lungs.
And they need it for the altitude.
We don't need it unless you're living up on top of Mount Whitney or something.
So how are these cultivated in a?
These are cultivated in a controlled environment.
Okay.
The thing about fungi is that fungi it isn't really the substrate material that's grown in. It's more the conditions. It'll sporulate and it'll produce. Okay. You know, the same thing pretty much. And, so this is the way that.
And cordyceps do for us. What do they do?
It's a lung immune tonic for lungs, and it's also slightly yang for yang gene. Slightly, so it can go in yang gene formulas. When I say yang gene, what I mean is a formula that fortifies a reproductive drive. You know, yin gene is the reproductive capacity, holding the container, and then yang gene is going for it.
Libido, and astragalus is libido. Yes.
Astragalus here.
Oh, that's astragalus.
More what we call upright chi and immunity. Okay. Want to see some libido herbs?
Always. I'd like to know it all. This is just such a beautiful display, and there's one thing here we didn't get to yet, I think. So if you were having heart or emotional difficulties, you could eat longan fruit. Would that help?
Yes. Yeah, and an herb called albizia flower.
You have that here?
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'll
I
show
know
you.
some people who are having some. Well, isn't it interesting that you can call Dean and say, "This is what's going on in my life. Do you have a bag of goodies for me?" So.
This is albizia flower. A little piece of cordyceps in there. That's albizia flower.
It's beautiful. I'm going to show them a piece of
This herb is said to help a person overcome heartbreak, anxiety, and stress. And whenever I say that in a lecture or something,
it's beautiful.
Every time I point this out in a lecture and I say, you know, I say that about this herb, a bunch of the women in the crowd go, oh, give me some of that.
They stand
and
up.
it makes you realize, little things like that make you realize how stressed women really are, and they don't talk about it. Yes, you combine that with longan and then some of the shin herbs like reishi and that, and you've got a pretty good formula for you know, overcoming those things. These are libido herbs. This is cistanche. Yeah, a nice greasy black herb again, going down to the kidneys. Great athlete's herb. Great herb for you know, couples are trying to you know, copulate and have a child.
Does this get brewed like the others?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. We cook all this together, and my job is to you know, I check your pulse, and then I determine what's going on with the interaction of your 5 organ systems. There's 5 organ systems, and that within the yin and yang, and then that within the 3 treasures, and then I determine what's going on there, and then I build you, a custom formula in a bag, and you go home and cook the tea, and you drink the tea fresh.
Right.
But here's another libido herb. This is epimedium. This is called horny goat weed. A lot of people have heard of that. Horny goat weed. It got its name because way back, goat herders noticed right before mating season, the goats would all go eat forage the leaf of the tree, and they'd start mating, go on a mating frenzy. And so the farmers, the herders said, "Hey, that's horny goat weed there." So that's where it got its name.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Horny goat weed. That's great. I love these containers. And the big suitcase over there.
So, you know, that's it in a nutshell.
These.
Then, you know, of course, oh, there's schizandra.
Yeah.
Schizandra.
Tell us about schizandra.
Schizandra is a wonderful wild berry. It tastes really sour and really intense. But this is the only, this is probably the most renowned herb in all Chinese herbology, because it's the only known herb that tonifies all 5 of the organ systems. So if your lungs have issues, your heart has issues, your liver has issues, all of it.
It tonifies all 5.
Yeah.
Say the 5 again?
The 5 are, the spleen is in the middle, it's associated with earth, the lungs, the heart, the kidneys, and the liver. Yeah, right.
Okay.
So those are the 5 organ systems. And so the liver is associated with spring, the heart with summer. So in the liver, you do your raw cleanse, you do your juice fast in spring. You know, drink a lot of water and do your juice fast. In the summer, you eat cooling raw foods to protect your heart, right? In the fall, you eat your tubers and onions and sweet potatoes and yams and squash and everything, because those have all come harvest time in the fall, right? And that's going to go to your lungs. Wait a minute, no, the lungs. We have to fix this. Yes, the lungs, because the reason the lungs are the dominant organ in the fall is because you get the dry winds start blowing, and so you need to protect your lungs. You know?
Okay.
And then, so we make tonics for the lungs in the fall, and then in the winter, you build up your kidney, tonic your kidneys. And that's when you stay home, the days are shorter, you rest, you indulge more, eat black bean soup, eat miso soup, eat minestrone soup, eat soups, warm yourself up. Don't worry about putting on a few pounds in the wintertime, because you're going to do your spring class, you're going to do your spring cleanse for your liver in spring.
What about the summer is heart? Why do you need to protect the heart?
Because it gets hot out. It gets hot outside. So that's when you want to eat your cooling foods like cucumber and the traditional raw food diet.
Okay, wonderful.
Wow.
Wow. That was huge, everybody. That was huge. I don't even know what to say other than, how do you make it? What do you do? And I already know that I have this clay pot and I fill it with beautiful water, and then you do a brew and you will have to boil some of them. So
and I have products at shamanshack.info.
Shaman Shack, I'm going to put the link below.
Shamanshackherbs.com I have as well.
It is the most amazing. I go into Euphoria And the thing that I go in there for
the
is the 3 immortals. And we don't have it to show you, but it's got the Shilajit, which we didn't talk about. It's got the Ormus, which we didn't talk about, and it has Reishi. And that's a whole other thing. I mean, we're not expecting him to say another word, but I will tell you that this is the most amazing product. So we will connect on that. I'll put the links below and your whatever information you want to give.
Yeah, I designed that product for coffee drinkers.
Yeah.
Particularly, we're on the Ascension, we know, but we all have people around us who are still drinking coffee and other things, and this stuff, it's hitting the adrenals, stuff like coffee, so you want to offer alternative to that. And this
That's what I do with everybody all the time, and I haven't introduced that product yet, so I totally will. It's robust, and you can make it strong, and it feels so good. And it's adaptogenic, which you can have it at any time. Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't act as it can help fortify your body's need to get moving in the morning, but in the nighttime it would actually calm you too. It's adaptogenic.
So what I'm hoping that you guys do, because I know a lot of us are doing a raw food diet, I'm gonna talk to Dean about what kinds of things I would brew right now and make a beautiful potion. And I love brewing things on the stove. It just feels so good. So what you can do is call Dean and say what's up and get a special bag. It comes in like this little brown paper bag, and you can pour that into the pot on your stove and make a potion. I am so glad. We did an interview on the beach, and it was gorgeous lighting, and it was such good words and everything about it, but you guys couldn't hear a word we were saying. So this was our second try, and I hope we get to do this more. I really am honored and delighted. We are on the same page with the raw food and the Chinese herbs. So we're on the same page. Thank you so much. All right, everybody, get your greens on and get your Taoist, how do you say it?
Taoist tonic herbs.
Get your Taoist tonic herbs on.
Get in those kidneys there.
Okay, hi everybody. I really just couldn't let Rehmannia leave without showing you this amazing traveling suitcase. So I just want you to know that sometimes people are lucky enough to find Dean at events and functions and festivals. So that's something else that you can do, yes?
Yeah, I love being one-on-one. I really believe that this has always been a tradition of very close, personalized form of therapy, and that's the way I like it. So this enables me to keep doing that. I go to festivals, sit on the ground, or sometimes just pop open my trunk and my tailgate in my car and put this thing out.
Yeah, and then you can sit and talk with somebody and see what they need, and they walk off with a bag of amazing goodies. So I wanted you to see this, to just give you anywhere, if there's something going on somewhere in this country and you think that Dean would be a great fit, and that's something that you could contact him about too. And that's really special.
I'd come, a little festival or something like that, and this is my other book, The Hisian. This is my pride and joy right there. And my first book, On These Herbs, Healing Threshold, is on all this. And then this is a fictional tale about how we save the world.
Awesome.
I channeled it. I'm very proud.
So we're here to save the world, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Not a minute too soon. We're doing it now.
You gotta, I guess you gotta walk to the precipice to see the over the edge,
Yeah, we're there.
That's where
we're there. We're doing great stuff.
Yeah.
I think the time is now. So there we have it. Just wanted to show you that, and get your Chinese Taoist herbal tonics on.
Yeah. Awesome.
Bye.